If you've been watching the news, there were a few events that took place last week that could mean we're getting closer to the end. How close are we? I can't tell, right? We could be days away, months away, and years away. We will never be able to tell until things actually break. It actually breaks. If you're not prepared, it's going to be difficult to prepare yourself at that point. The important thing is to read, pray, watch, and prepare. If you believe the scriptures and you think you will be alive when this thing breaks, the current system, this current Babylon breaks, and you believe the scripture, you will prepare. The thing that I want to talk about today is basically how ill prepared most people are. And that's because I don't think they know what to expect. They've been misled by so many different Christian preachers about what's going to happen. Silly thoughts of pre-tribulation, post-tribulation. The tribulation occurred already. Tribulation was for the children of Israel. But there will be stress upon the earth. And as I told you, if you follow the channel, it's war. A giant war will take place. So let's read some scriptures. We're going to go into a book called Esdras, which is in the Apocrypha, or the 1611 King James Version. They're free version in the App Store or Google Play. So you don't have to go out and spend any money on the Apocrypha. It's free. Just look up 1611 King James Version and you'll be able to find it. And they break it out in 3 sections. You'll have the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Apocrypha. And a lot of people don't believe in the Apocrypha. There's no discrepancies between any of the 3, only misunderstandings by people who aren't well read. And you'll see that in the Apocrypha, or the second Esdras, he saw the end times, the same way Moses saw the end times, the same way John, the Apostle John, saw the end times. And you can see their stories all align. We're going to show what to expect. So what should you expect, and what is the reason for all of what is going to take place? All right, so let's start by reading 2 Esdras 15:5. Behold, saith the Most High, I will bring plagues upon the world, sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. What does that mean? When he says he's going to be plagues on the earth, sword is war, famine and death are results of war, and destruction is a result of war. Esdras is seeing a war, and the reason for this war is their wickedness has polluted the whole earth. This bloodline that's in control has polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. What does that mean? The Most High has a specific time that he will allow evil to exist. He couldn't give Abraham the land, even though Abraham was living in it, because he said the sin of the Amorite is not yet full. The Most High is merciful. He gives you a chance to fix yourself. But there's a point of no return. That's what the sin to death is, when your time is up. So nations or bloodlines have a time to change. People have their own individual times to change. Revelation chapter 16, verse 1. I heard a great voice of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your way and pour out the vials of wrath of Elohim upon the earth. Whenever the time is up, as Ezra saw, and he saw war start, and you read chapter 16, you should read the whole chapter. He talks about the vials being poured on the earth. These vials are poured on the earth are describing what will take place figuratively on the earth during this war. And the reason for the war, 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 10, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. But I will bring them out with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt as before, and will destroy the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundations of it shall be smitten with the plague and the punishment that Elohim shall bring upon it. The purpose of this war is about the children of Israel. The great tribulation, once it's over, the war starts. That's the signal that the tribulation is over. Rulership in the earth has to be switched to them, switched to the children of Israel. And that's why when you read in Matthew, it says, then shall the tribes or the families of the earth mourn, because their time is up. Verse 10 again, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them out with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy the land thereof. As before. This is not talking about during Moses. The Most High promises to bring plagues to this current Egypt that we see now. This Egypt, this Babylon, this rulership has to suffer the same way they suffered in Egypt. And we can read that with Revelation chapter 16, verse 3. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea. And when it says that every living soul died in the sea, and we can see that with what happened during Exodus, like he said, I'm going to smite Egypt with plagues as before. We read Exodus chapter 7, verse 19. And if you saw the 10 Commandments movie, you know that's what took place. Exodus chapter 7, verse 19. And the Most High spake unto Moses, say unto Aaron, take thy rod and stretch thine hand upon the waters of Egypt, and upon the streams, upon their rivers, and upon their ponds, and all the pools of water, that they may become blood, and that there may be blood stretched out through all the land of Egypt, both in the vessels of wood and in the vessels of stone. And Moses did as the Most High commanded, and he lifted up his rod and smote the waters that were in the river in the sight of Pharaoh and in the sight of his servants, and all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood, and the fish that was in the river died, as the river stank, and the Egyptians could not drink of the water, and there was blood throughout all the land of Egypt. What we read about in Exodus will happen in what we call the second Exodus again. Don't look for little signs of some random river that has red water. This would be unmistakable. You will not have to guess that this is taking place. It will be evident to everybody to know that we are in this thing now. Esdras goes on further to discuss this war. 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 20. Behold, saith Elohim, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Libanus, to turn themselves one against another, to repay the things that they have done to them, like as they do yet this day unto my chosen. So will I do also, and recompense in their bosom, saith the Most High. How do we know that this is a world war? Where all the people will be involved. It says from the rising of the sun, from the south, and from the east, and Libanus. This is all the nations gathered up, as they say in Revelation, in the Hebrew tongue, Armageddon. Babylon has to go down. And the reason why they have to go down is because, as it says, to repay the things done to them. They have committed crimes against the chosen people of the Most High. So let's read Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 2. Declare ye among the nations, and publish, and set up a standard, and publish, and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken. For out of the north there come up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. When we read this now, it is unmistakable that this land of Babylon must suffer war, but also it must suffer the way Egypt suffered. The Most High drowned the Egyptians in the sea, and that he will do the same thing in this war with the hand of Christ. But before that, the plagues that we saw in Egypt must be on the land of Babylon and across the world. I will plague Egypt as before, saying I will do it again. If you didn't believe the first one, you will see with your eyes the second one. So to sum this all up, things are heating up. It could go off at any time. I don't think the end is yet, but it's important to know how the Most High will do it, right? It's by war. Stop looking for the Antichrist. Stop looking for two witnesses. Be prepared for a war. The reason why he's doing it is to vengeance for what happened and what took place to the children of Israel. And 3, the most important thing that you can do during this time is to keep the Most High's commandments. 2nd Esdras 15:24. Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Most High. Revelation chapter 22, verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter through the gates into the city. You have 2 witnesses here again saying the importance of the commandments. This is the last chapter of Revelation. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter through the gates of the city. Ezra says, woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments. I can't explain to you anymore. If you don't understand this, it's not meant for you. That's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.